Is that George?
So for Sierra to walk around the office with her phone, she's gonna go off of Wirecast Go.
Right? She's gonna call.
Yeah. So Sierra, you'll need to download an app if you don't already have it.
I don't know what I did. I fixed it. Don't ask me. I really don't know what I did.
Okay, thank you.
Oh yeah, yesterday I was kind of going like, clearing my throat.
Yeah, that was really, really annoying.
Yeah. Okay, so
please
sorry.
do not do that anymore.
That's why I was checking.
You kept on doing that. Like, you gotta drink some water if you need to clear your throat. Don't go because it picked up on the mic.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Sierra, did you download the app?
Yeah, I have the app.
Okay, so we need the number from that app.
Steve, did you send out the link?
Yeah. Did you not get it?
Just got it. In it.
My internet's not connecting.
Yeah, they.
Here you go, Steve. I don't know how to get it.
That's fine. I'll take care of it.
I don't even know how to get that picture off.
10 to 100. Thank you.
$30.
Do you know how to get this picture off?
What picture?
The picture that's on my screen.
This is her IP address for our Wirecast Go.
Will I need it?
Yes.
10.
Sure.
5.
Excuse me.
4.
Good luck, everybody.
3.
Thank you, Steve. Oh, just in time.
Mute your computer.
What?
Mute it.
We don't have the monitor to preview what we're seeing. All right, I'm gonna go to 11:01.
Has the link been sent out?
Yeah, I sent it out like 5 minutes ago.
And are we back on Periscope at the same spot?
All of them, same spot.
So I'm not seeing it on Periscope. No one else has that link, which is a sign of what's going on with the AT&T.
Yeah.
But I would think that.
Do you not get my email?
Nope.
Alright. I would suggest getting off the Wi-Fi and doing your cellular plan then.
Okay. Oh, I just got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Who came up with the name Bernard McGee? You did? We have one for Levita. Andy thought of it. What is it?
SFG LAD fan. So San Francisco Giants, Los Angeles
So
Dodgers.
Nobody would ever look that up, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Except for Henry.
Nah.
We're live.
Yeah, we're live. I just am waiting to get the queue to go. I don't know if people are on.
We good to go?
All set.
Yeah.
Could we put the graphic up? Starting at noon,
Call up.
and give yourself like 30 seconds, and then just rock and roll.
So I need this for Sierra, for her walking around.
Yeah, so it's under network.
It's my internet connection's not the best.
Yeah, it's never gonna connect on Wi-Fi.
No, my cellular's not good up here.
Oh,
So like I can't load the comments. Like the stream's not loading for me. On
It's on.
good question.
So the room is using Comcast, correct?
Yeah.
And you can't load. You're having limitations on your speed.
it's not loading on my computer. I'm using my cellular data and it's losing connection.
When I
each
say
time.
the room, I mean this computer.
So otherwise, right now he's on
Nope.
AT&T.
Yep.
All right, so that's a problem. Okay, good. I'm glad we saw that. Because even if we choose to do the Comcast with a backup doesn't work because he has to be on faster internet.
He already lost his connection again.
On my phone.
So it's really not an option for us. Okay.
It's trying to reconnect now. He's still not connected.
And Sierra, who's going to do a walk and talk, would need to be using Wi-Fi in order to have that app work. Okay, all right. This is great because we just learned a whole bunch of stuff that is really helpful for us to know now.
Good.
So it's going to ease our choices significantly.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. Well, let's do this. Let's go ahead and do the show. You're not going to get comments very much. We'll try to
Whatever I
limit it.
get, I'll.
You probably won't be able to do anything.
Right.
Let's do some chit chat, get comfortable with the guys, see if we can still do Jesus and Adrian, and we'll shrink it. Okay.
I'm not when I try to refresh my Twitter, it's not even.
Yeah. So
refreshing.
don't even worry about going out and walking around. That's not going to work. Let's just do like an intro. Just get through some mechanics. Let's
Okay.
consider everything that we do right now just to be mechanical, as opposed to heavy content and
Alright.
experiment, because we now know our limitations.
Okay.
All right,
Cool.
and I'm going to let everybody else know they can pretty much not be following, and it doesn't matter. They can get back to their work.
Got it.
Commenting won't matter. Okay.
Alright,
Okay.
thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. So we are gonna go in 3, 2, and 1. Hey everyone, welcome to La Vida Baseball Live. Is that the official name of the show, guys?
I think that's what we're going with, right?
I think that's what we're going.
think
I
it
like
is.
it. It rolls off the tongue.
It
it's
does.
pretty smooth for sure.
I dig
It
it. I
does,
dig
it
it.
does.
Okay, I'm Sierra Santos. I am a host and producer here at La Vida Baseball, so I help put on this awesome show, and so do my counterparts. Guys, introduce yourselves. What's your name? What do you do?
I'm Andy Martinez. I'm a digital and social producer. I produce graphics for Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, so I get to play around on social media a little bit.
And Photoshop.
And Photoshop, yeah.
Okay, so
I'll Photoshop you wherever you want, Sarah. You tell me.
I just want Photoshop me in real life to be 10 pounds skinnier. That's all I need. All right.
Can I
what
get
do
some
you do?
more hair?
that might be
Some
that might be
more
tricky.
hair,
That might be a little bit tricky.
He does Photoshop. He's not a magician.
My name's Henry Pacheco, and I am the social media editor here at La Vida Baseball. I oversee all digital media platforms here: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. So check out all of our check out all of our social channels. Follow us, comment, love our stuff. Tell us what you like, and we'll produce more for you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely go follow us on all the different
Yes.
channels because we always put up awesome content
Great
every
stuff.
day.
Yes, we
Hashtag
do.
And-
fire content.
Talking about awesome content, we do have some cool stuff in today's show. I'm going to write it down for you on the board so you already have a rundown of what's going on. But as I write, will you tell them what's
For
up?
Yeah. So what we got ahead today, we're going to recap some of our Levito awards. At the end of last year, we did what we thought was the best in Latino baseball, and we're going to recap it. We've got some social WTFs. Some like what did we just see on social media, which sometimes happens a lot.
A lot.
And then we're going to talk some World Series. Spring training just kicked off, but it's never too early to start talking about the World Series and
Never
who we
too early.
think's going to be hoisting the trophy at the end of October.
It's funny too, because do you guys notice right after the World Series ends, the very next day,
Everyone's like, who's winning?
exactly,
Yeah,
who's
yeah.
gonna win next year? It's like, okay, just give them their time to savor the moment. But
So if anything, we're late.
right,
We're
Yeah.
not-
we
we're
are
like-
late.
We
Hey,
already let that
in true-
championship marinate.
in true
so-
Latino fashion, we are late.
Yeah. For sure.
Exactly. All right. So let's get started with it. Part of one of the things you guys do is put out awesome content. And talking about awesome content, you had the Levita Awards, the inaugural Levita Awards, right, of
Yeah.
2018. You
Yes.
didn't do them in 2017, right?
We did. We did about. Well, this year we did 12. Last year, 2018 we did 12. 2017, our first year, we only did 5.
Okay.
So we upped the ante. A
You
little bit.
expanded
Exactly,
the
we
awards.
expanded,
Okay,
yeah.
and was there an award ceremony? Did you wear a tux? Was there a woman in a long gown?
We had a red carpet.
Yeah, but actually no one showed up, so it was kind of awkward.
Exactly.
It's like, Henry and I were just sitting there in our tuxes.
We had
like,
an
waiting for
Airbus, we
people.
had
Flutes of
tamales.
champagne.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So I love the idea of this, and I hope that you put me on the panel to vote this year.
Oh, of course.
So I'll have a little say in it, but I want to get to our first award, and we did this because it was just something fun to do.
Yeah.
We wanted to honor some of the Latinos that are playing baseball. So
And we wanted to do it a little bit differently because, at the end of the year, everybody team of the year, sportsman of the year, those are kind of
MVP, yeah.
exactly. So we wanted to do something a little different. We wanted it to be funny face, best moment, best dressed, best Latino brotherhood, so we wanted to incorporate more of the Latino flavor into these awards. So to
Cool.
say.
So what is our first award and what was it?
So our first award that we're going to talk about is the best Altuve face. So throughout the year, Henry and I would look at photos that we had of Astros star Jose Altuve, and we would see his faces, and some of the faces that he would make were just priceless. Like there are some faces where he's got the biggest derp face like possible.
It kind of started when the Astros went to the White House last year. I don't know if you guys remember that famous photo of him looking at Trump.
Yeah.
So there was a photo of him looking at Trump, and his face was just like, and the photo, that's it right there. It's on the board. It went viral. So we saw the photo and like, okay, what can we do with that photo? How can we make it funny? So after that, Jean Fruth, our traveling photographer, she covered the Astros a lot last season. So she was able to capture many of the funny faces that Altuve made throughout the season. And that is just one of them. Oh, there's another one right there. And so at the end of the year, we're like, hey, Altuve, he's got some funny faces. Let's create an award. And we decided to make a category out of it.
Nice. Can we? Is there any way to go back to that last photo?
Gabar, TD, the magician. Yeah, look at that.
See, to me, that's not a funny face. That's me when they're like, sorry, we're all out of bacon, and you're trying to get, like, you know what I mean? It's kind of just an exasperated face. You're like,
Or you in Cuba when they say they're out of coffee.
Oh.
Or when there's no toilet paper.
Or when there's no toilet paper.
All right, go. Oh, see, yeah, that's a good one.
That's a photo right there.
What's the one you were talking about?
Yep, and it is on our Instagram. So if you're not following us already, go on our Instagram, check it out, like it, comment on it.
We won't judge that you liked a photo from a year ago. Promise.
You're totally stalking us.
Or that. Yeah, we won't judge.
Okay, so I believe the next one is Best Dressed, which I'm sure you had a lot of nominees for this.
Yeah, this was one of the tough ones that it was like, who do we go with? And it was just like everyone has their flashy style. All the Latino ball players have their flashy style. So it was hard to just pick three, and let alone pick a winner. It was really tough. And Henry, like you can attest to it, we would go through pictures and Instagrams, and it was tough.
Yeah, I think that during the playoffs, like the fashion comes out even more.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like these guys, they know all the cameras are on them. They know like they're playing for like the end of the season. So I think they upped their game, their fashion game a little bit more during the postseason. I will say this though, I was able to attend the All-Star game last year in Washington D.C. and I was on the red carpet when the players came in, and to see them all in like tuxedos, suits, like. Mookie was wearing like a burgundy suit and with slippers, and to see these guys like dress it up and and to like get some flavor into just like not seeing them wear a uniform was really, really cool.
Yeah.
So
who was the winner?
Our winner was Carlos Correa of the Astros.
Yep.
He had some swag. Yeah.
Okay.
He was definitely one of the
you guys didn't
like,
go for flashy though. You
No.
went for swaggy.
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
Definitely
Because I
went for
think,
flashy.
in my personal opinion, if we went for flashy, it'd probably be Carlos Martinez of the Cardinals.
So it'd be Pedro Strip of the Cubs.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I forgot about Pedro.
So if you were to dress like anyone or have anyone's wardrobe, would you say it's Correa?
Probably. I think that's probably the closest for me.
you know what? It's Correa.
Correa.
Because he
Yeah, I
can
had to think
flash
about it for
it,
a
but he can also
He
be
can
classy.
tone it down.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. He's got the happy meat. He's not one or the other.
Fair enough. All right, so we got Best Dressed. Who are the runner-ups?
We had Ozzy Albies of the Braves.
Yep.
Okay.
And then Francisco Lindor of Cleveland.
I like Francisco.
Yeah, Francisco.
Same.
Yeah, I think we were that was the two we were going back and forth on for sure. It was Lindor and Correa.
He might be a nominee for best hair this year. Did you guys see his hair?
Yeah,
blue
the
hair.
blue
Recently,
mop.
he just put blue in his hair at spring training. He showed up to spring training with blue hair, so he might be
looks good.
our nominee for best hair this year. So
Well,
see.
we're gonna have to. Is that a category? Was that a category?
It
Best
was.
hair. Yeah, it
Best
was.
hair
Yeah, it was.
So who won Best Hair?
Off the top of my head, I can't remember.
I know D-Rod was.
D-Rod was an option with his flow. Derek Rodriguez of the Giants. His long, luscious flow.
Yeah,
as
his
I like to call
luscious flow.
it. You didn't even skip a beat on that. You agreed.
Who else
We'll
was
get
best
back to
hair?
it.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you think about it, let me know.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to Moment of the Year. Best Latino baseball moment. What was it?
So the moment we went with was Francisco Lindor's home run in Puerto Rico when they had the Puerto Rican Series in San Juan. Our finalists were Felix Hernandez striking out Adrian Beltre earlier in the season, Nolan Arenado and Javi Baez sharing a memorable hug in the wild card game.
That's everything.
And then, but we went with Lindor's home run in Puerto Rico because of what it meant for Puerto Rico, what it meant for Lindor, and just the moment itself and how special you can just capture. You can just see the moment captured. Our traveling photographer Jean Fruth was there. She captured some awesome photos and just the emotion, the raw emotion. You would have thought it was Game 7 of the World Series the way everything transpired, but it was
sounded like Game 7 of the World Series. That's for sure.
And yeah, and it was just a regular season game. It was an awesome moment for sure.
I guess there's a different type of energy.
Yeah,
and especially when you've got some home country guys, it was a completely different vibe. The fanfare was incredible.
Yeah. It was, and then I think for the country going back to Puerto Rico after the hurricane,
right?
You know, like it meant so much too because baseball is such a big part of, you know, the culture in Puerto Rico, and you know, Lindor going back there, his mom was there, and doing it for the home country I'm sure was a moment he'll never forget.
Right. Okay, so guys, future categories for this year. Are you going to expand? Are we going to add on?
We got to expand.
Yeah.
I think we definitely have to.
I think, like, Best Dress has to kind of, like, evolved into, like, flashes. Like, kind of like how you mentioned with, like, Strope and Carlos Martinez and some of these other guys that, you know, got the big chains and the flashy shoes, the flashy hair. Yeah. I would still vote for Carlos Martinez, I think, just to
You
bug you.
love Carlos Martinez.
I do. I love Carlos Martinez.
We need to get you guys like
Carlos,
to be BFFs, and you can get the hand-me-downs.
He loves you.
I would take his hand-me-downs because those are some pretty nice hand-me-downs. If I do say so.
I'm sure. You know what? We'll see if we'll put in a phone call.
Yeah.
See if you guys are the same size or something. Okay, so you want to maybe expand a flashiest dresser. Is there any category that you guys want to add? Just like maybe because you know we're doing the kicks of the day segment. Maybe we've got best shoes.
Best shoes is definitely one of them. I'm starting to see a lot more like spouses like coming into the mix. You know, like fiancés, girlfriends.
We can't do
wives.
hottest.
Yeah,
wife,
no, I'm not saying
Henry.
hottest. I'm saying like maybe like best couple. Something
Best
like that.
couple.
Yeah.
Okay,
Best
yeah.
couple, yeah.
I like that.
I
Okay.
think couple might be in the mix. What else are we looking at this year?
I like best couple.
I do like best couple
Let's
too.
add. I think we need to add that one in.
I think so.
Okay,
too.
so that'll be number 13. So we gotta get response from you guys too. We want to know what you guys think, what category that you would put out there, because this is all about you after all. So, talking about different moments that kind of make you say, "Wow."
Oh yeah.
There was that home run, and then there's Johnny Cueto's horse. What happened with this? Because Johnny Cueto has a horse. He loves him a lot. Oh yeah, laugh at the guys.
I love Johnny. I'm a Giants fan. You guys
By
know that.
the way, it is.
I'm a Johnny Cueto.
It is Love Your Pet Day.
It is Love Your Pet Day.
Love Your Pet Day.
So
And you're laughing
this is
at
even
poor Johnny Cueto.
We should send him a card.
more timely.
We should send Johnny a card.
This goes for our WTF moment because, I mean, obviously we're like, WTF, this is so sad. So what is it, Andy?
So Johnny Cueto had a beloved horse. He absolutely loved him. Popeye. Popeye for you English speakers. And Popeye passed away, and Johnny Cueto was heartbroken. He shared some photos on the gram. Actually shared one of Popeye dead. Very
Deceased.
Deceased and very
No longer living.
Yeah. No, it was interesting photo to share on Instagram. But he posted 4 posts, I believe. There's 3 of them up here.
There's one of him.
Okay, but my question is, I swear this horse died last year. Or
He
2
posted
years
about
ago. And he reposted it.
I don't
Maybe
know.
he just keeps renaming his horses Popeye.
Maybe this
and
is
they
like
keep
the
dying?
third generation.
Maybe.
No, because I swear to you, there was a horse he had that has previously passed away.
Well, he has more than one horse.
Okay, we need to do some more research
We
on
do
this
need to
because
do more
if
research.
if
We need to go to the
they-
Dominican Republic and
Go to Johnny Cueto's.
Go to his farm and we need to see all of his horses.
I swear though, he posted something about his deceased. Now this might be in what do they call it in memoriam?
In
or-
memoriam,
Oh, that's-
yeah.
This might be an in memoriam post.
Maybe,
I'm not sure,
maybe.
but we need to go back and dig further because he had another dead horse.
That sounds like a job for Gabe. Like that sounds a perfect. Like he look at him, he loves that
let's
job.
Do,
But we'll do some digging
yeah,
for
we'll
sure.
do some research.
We-
We'll get
we-
back to you on
We
that.
need to find out if there are two dead horses, or we need to find out
If
if
it's
it
the
is
same
the
one.
same horse and he is
He's-
just simply honoring the day of his death,
Right.
or perhaps the day of his birth.
That could be it. Yeah,
That
it could
could
be one
be
of
it
those.
The
too.
poor Popeye.
But
Popeye.
because he shared the photo makes me think this is a new, like the photo of the horse on the ground makes me think that it's
No, that was the same picture
You think-
he had
is
posted
it?
before. So either there are two dead, and I remember that little flash from the eyes
Yeah.
as well.
it's an interesting photo. I'll leave it at
Because
that.
something like photos like that you don't forget.
Yeah.
Right?
No, and that's what I'm telling you. I did not. There is another horse that is either dead or it's the same horse.
We'll have to check it out.
Henry's on his gram right now.
Yeah.
He's pulling it up.
Okay.
The gram's running a little slow for me today, but we'll get back to you on that.
Okay. So, talking about National Pet Day,
And
Love
horses.
Your Pet Day, and horses are just, I guess, farm animals.
Yeah.
It's a farm animal, right? I mean, there's some like championship breed horses that are, thousands and thousands of dollars, but let's just scale it back a little bit to just a little farm animal. We do have another animal story. Who is it?
It's
And what happened?
Yeah, it's Martin Perez. Last season, he missed a portion of spring training because he had an interesting injury with one of his farm animals in his home of Venezuela. Gabe, you got the video?
My first injury was this off-season down in Venezuela. I was watching my horses and my cows, and the guy was working out. My brother was behind me. I heard my name, and I looked back, and somebody said, "Watch out!" And when I look in front, the cow was trying to attack me, and I was scared, and I jumped. I landed on my foot, and I just went down and broke my arm. That was an accident, not because I was driving a horse or something like that. And like I say, my body is in my machine and I have to take care of my body. And as for the cow, I killed it and I ate it, so it was good meat.
And as for the cow, I killed it and I ate it, and it was good meat.
Yep. You
I mean-
sure did.
You got to do it, don't you? like
At that point,
eye for an eye, I guess.
Eye for an eye. Exactly.
what would you do in that circumstance?
I don't know. I think if I was as pissed off at him, I think as he was, I think I would have done the same thing.
I would have had a nice hamburger for sure.
I mean, I'm guessing too
You know how much
that
food
it's-
you could eat for weeks with the
One cow.
With one cow.
Yeah.
I know, and I'm assuming that he was already raising it for slaughter.
Right.
I mean, chances are it wasn't a milk cow. Who knows?
Right.
Maybe it was.
Mate.
But I mean, he's also in Venezuela, so it's not like you're gonna waste an entire cow if you do end up killing
True.
it, right?
Right,
So
true.
the food is scarce.
Sure. Of
I
course.
mean, resources are
Yeah.
scarce. So we're gonna ask the audience now, which story is sadder? Cueto's horse dying or Perez's cow being eaten? What are your initial reactions? See, for me, it's 100% Johnny Cueto's Popeye.
I agree.
Same.
It's not even close,
Same.
in my opinion. That cow had it coming for him.
Yes.
The cow had a death wish. But seriously though, Cueto's, like, you can tell that he
was-
loved
Yes.
that horse.
Yes.
Like the amount of photos, and like it looked like it was really well maintained.
Mhm.
Like
Yes.
the tail and the mane and
Yes.
everything were like perfectly
Perfect, yeah.
brushed
Yes.
out and groomed.
Yes.
The horse was shiny. It was a very well taken care of
Yes.
horse. So
Yeah.
he clearly loves his livestock.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can tell he just loves his pets. On National Love Your Pet Day, he it's a perfect story for us, and it's heartbreaking for Johnny Cueto to lose out on his beloved Popeye.
Poor Johnny.
So
Our thoughts are with you. Our thoughts are with you today, Johnny.
we are going to wrap up with Henry because you got a lot of stuff to do. I believe you're
I do.
writing El Bullpen.
I am. I'm writing Bullpen today. A lot of good comments on Machado's choice to play in San Diego. So we got a lot of players congratulating him. A lot of good comments. A lot of good feedback on that. So
That'll
gotta
be
get
on the
back to it.
website.
It'll be back on the website this afternoon between 3 and 4. So
Okay, great.
come back and check it out.
Or you can find it on all of our social media handles because we'll be sure to tweet it out.
Yes, we will.
All right, so before we go, we are going to start with a video from inside the Hall of Fame. And I love these videos
Oh, I do
because
too.
they're so informative. They give you so much background and so much context of stuff that you may not necessarily know about. Like, for example, this story, I had no
Me neither.
previous information on it, right? So let's talk a little bit about what it is.
Yeah, so the 1919 World Series, 100 years ago this year. It's very famous for one reason, the Black Sox scandal, where the White Sox fixed the World Series, or through the World Series. But there's also a little tidbit that's huge for Latino baseball that also happened in that World Series, and it involves a Cuban.
Okay, let's take a look.
Welcome to the Baseball Hall of Fame. We're down in the basement in a room they call the Vault. And I'm wearing my white gloves because I'm about to show you something that will blow your mind. Question: when was the first time a Latino played in the World Series? 1970s? 1960s? 1950s? For most baseball fans, the 1919 World Series is all about the Black Sox scandal. For Latinos, 1919 means something different. This ticket stub is from the 1919 World Series, 99 years ago. And that year marked the first time a Latino ever played in the postseason. In Game 3, the Reds brought in Cuban pitcher Adolfo Luque, who threw a scoreless inning and helped Cincinnati win the title. 14 years later, Luque did it again with the New York Giants at the ripe age of 43. And check out his World Series stats: 9 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 11 Ks, no runs. Amazing, 99 years ago. Welcome to the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Plug 'em in.
All right, welcome in, Tab. Go ahead, put your headphones on.
I'm untangling. Henry left me a hot mess. So
Well, he brought his own, so
I
those
will, I will get those worked out, but I don't need to hear myself to talk to you guys.
Right, I can actually hear myself, so I'll take these off as well. So we just came out of that story about the little ticket from the 1919 World Series, and on the video it said 99 years ago. Now it's 100 years ago.
Yeah.
So I loved that in that video that Adrian had his white
gloves, like he needed to wear them.
I wonder, do you think, are those provided? You've been to the Hall of Fame, Tab.
I
Are
have.
those provided?
Yeah, so when you go into certain parts of the Hall of Fame, you can't just go grab stuff. So they will put you, not quite hazmat suits, but you'll get the fancy
Booties.
gloves, and they'll make sure that if you touch anything, it's not touching your hands, because some of this stuff, I mean, that's a 100-year-old piece of paper.
Right.
And so obviously they don't want you to just touch that stuff. And, I think the great thing about that ticket is a lot of people remember the 1919 World Series more for the Black Sox scandal
Right.
than the fact that Dolph Luque was the first Latino to appear in a World Series game. But he was legitimately one of the superstar pitchers of the first couple decades of the 20th century.
Well, he was?
Yeah, he was bona fide ace, crushing people on the mound. And so he was a big part of the Cincinnati Reds getting to the World Series that year.
See, I don't know. I wasn't alive back then.
Yeah,
so.
neither was I.
I was just finishing high school, wearing the hat to hide the gray. But no, he was legit, and so it's big that we're 100 years later, and it doesn't look like the White Sox will be celebrating that 100 years with a World Series this year. But their efforts on Machado are worthy of the Black Sox.
Talking about the World Series and who you think is going to win the World Series, Do you have any early predictions? Because we talked about it. We're a little bit late to the party because all these World Series predictions come out the day after
Sometimes the
the
second
World
after.
Series. Yeah, right.
Vegas has odds that night. Not that we gamble and talk about baseball.
Oh no, never, never. We have never even played slots.
Yeah.
Not even penny slots.
Of course.
So what are the odds right now? Do you have them up on your computer?
I don't, because actually they changed this morning because Manny Machado signed yesterday.
Did they change?
They actually did. The San Diego Padres actually got a little bit better.
Okay.
It actually hurt the Philadelphia Phillies. It actually hurt the White Sox a little bit, but really it was the Phillies who took the biggest hit in Vegas.
Huh.
The front runners are pretty much the same. It's the Yankees, Red Sox, Astros, Dodgers. Lots of the computers don't like the Cubs for some reason this year.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which
and
is kind of crazy that everyone on the Cubs had a bad year and was hurt last year, and they think that that's the norm.
And what the other interesting thing was the Cubs were asked about it, and you know what? Maybe it's actually better for that group of guys that they are kind of underrated this season, so that they get out there and they have something to prove, rather than being this glorified team that everyone says, oh, they got to win the World Series this year. For me, if I'm looking at who's going to win the World Series, I think it will be the Red Sox.
Why?
I just think that there's something like I know that there's that flu, right, or that hangover and stuff.
Sure.
But I just think that it's been a while, you know. So it's been a while since you had back-to-back repeats, and I just think that I think Alex Cora, I think everyone loves him. I think that it's a group that has stayed in place. I mean, they've only gotten better in the off season.
Right.
So
they haven't replaced Kimbrel at the back end of the bullpen. That's the one thing that scares me.
But that can be acquired. It can be acquired through trades. If they get through the first couple months of the season, they've got plenty of time before the trade deadline to make something happen.
Absolutely.
If they feel like it's going in the right direction, the only piece that they're missing is somebody in their bullpen. They are going to make the transaction happen.
Yeah. And they've never been afraid to spend money or
that's what I'm saying.
Trade prospects. They're not a team that's going to hem and haw if they need to go in. They'll just do it.
And that's what neither of the Yankees, though, which is why Yankees are probably my runner-up. What about you guys?
I'm going with the Astros for sure. I think having Correa healthy for, in theory, a full season, having Altuve healthy in theory for a full season, having a pretty loaded bullpen, I think the Astros are going to look like they're going to be, I think, contenders, and I think the AL is going to be very interesting between the Yankees, Red Sox, and the Astros. I don't think Cleveland is up there, but I think that those three teams are going to be. It's going to be a dogfight for the American League.
Well, and it's interesting because when you talk about the Indians now, with San Diego having just a huge bounty of prospects, and the relationship between Trevor Bauer and the Indians souring in the arbitration process, and him being pretty vocal on Twitter about his feelings about how the team has approached arbitration. Cleveland might be in a position where they trade a pitcher and could still win that division. So I'm with you. I don't think Cleveland has the horses. It's just.
But you don't think Cleveland's going to win the division?
I think they'll win I think they'll win the division. But I'm agreeing with Andy that I don't think when you look at them stacking up next to the Yankees, Red Sox, and Astros,
no.
They're the next tier down.
I think they're going to the playoffs.
Oh yeah, I think that, and I think
there's just not strong competition.
Well, I think they can take their division for granted because 3 of the 5 teams are rebuilding, and Minnesota's got a ton of question marks.
Right.
So just to be a contrarian, I like Houston a lot. I like Boston a lot. But I think what we were talking about with the Cubs, I think the Cubs are going to win the National League this year. I don't think they win the World Series because I don't like their bullpen. But I think when you talk about players playing with
their bullpen had the best ERA in the National League last year.
With injuries.
Which is true. But they don't have the prospect depth to deal from that some of the other teams do. And with Brandon Morrow missing probably the first 2 months of the year, I want to see how the back end shakes out before I can say they'll win the World Series. But I do think they're going to have a much better year than Pacoda and everybody else says. That being said, I think the Yankees win the World Series because when you talk about guys playing with an edge, Everyone's talking about Nolan Arenado signing with the Yankees next year. Everyone's included Miguel Andujar in every trade rumor possible. I think he, even though he was runner-up for Rookie of the Year to Shohei Ohtani, he probably feels like he's got something to prove even after a historic season for a Yankees rookie. And their bullpen is just ridiculous. I mean, literally, their starters could go 4 innings and they'd be able to win almost every day because of their bullpen depth. And that's such a big thing in the playoffs. So I'll take the Yankees just to be the evil empire supporter that I am.
So Adrian has called in.
Called in, it's not. His camera's not working. Jesus is working though. So.
All right. Well, should we talk to Jesus about it?
Sure. Hey, Zeus. What up, kid?
We'll get him on. Because we want to hear what he has
I
to
got
think
no
too.
sound in my.
I don't have any sound either.
You turned it down.
Okay.
You guys can't hear yourselves.
No.
Now we can.
Now I can. It was actually a good thing while I was talking. If you could mute me while I talk, that'd be great. So who out there in radio listener land has a prediction for?
Well, you got no comments. The internet's slow. I literally have no I don't have the feed up.
I know.
Feed's not working.
Yeah, the internet's.
Did you get any of my comments?
I don't have a single comment.
I was
Like I literally have nothing.
absolutely slaying the
It's
comment
just
section.
disconnected, guys.
I'm kind of sad that you didn't get any of my comments.
We're not doing any comments today because we're not getting anything.
My hashtag glue for the win.
We have Adrian.
My Cueto's horse was a better recruiter Machado than the White Sox front office comment. Gold.
No, Jesus.
No, Jesus, Adrian now.
All right, well, either one. Just scream Ola like Pedro Martinez when the video shows up.
All right, he's coming.
Adrian?
So screw- Hey, there he is.
There's Adrian.
Hello, my friends. How's everyone doing?
Good.
How are you?
Office hours day. So
Nice.
office hours and meetings and Profes in the house.
Nice.
Outstanding.
So we're talking about World Series predictions. Any way you could turn us down a little bit? Thanks.
You're right.
So Adrian, we want to get your early prediction on who's going to win the World Series.
I know who's not going to win it.
Now I
Definitely
can't
not
hear
the. Oh boy.
Okay. Go ahead, Adrian.
Yeah, so I'll say I know who's not going to win it this year. I'll put a lot of money on the Marlins. No, but thinking about who's going to be in the World Series again. You know, I hate saying this, but unless the Red Sox are always make me fearful. They got a big offensive lineup. They haven't re-signed Kimbrel yet, so they don't have a closer. Seems like the Yankees signed every relief pitcher ace they could this offseason. So the Yankees are trying to make it a 5-inning game. The Padres are not going to be ready yet. The Dodgers don't have Puig anymore. They have a guy who's 110 games a year, Pollock, out in the outfield now. So who's in the front?
Okay, so you want to hear our predictions?
Well, you know what? I'm going to go Astros are going to be back in it because they're going to sneak through. And then the other team from the National League, you know, I think that's where it's really more of a toss-up. And it's going to come out again out of the National League Central. It's going to be your Cubs. How about that?
I hear you, Adrian. I hear you.
So, I said it was the Red Sox that would win.
I said it was the Stros. I think they're due for a bounce back.
I took Yankees over Cubs. Because the
Hey,
evil
do we
empire
have-
lives. The
Is
Death
Chewy
Star
on the
will
line? Is he
rise
going to help
in
us
the
out now?
east.
What's that?
I think it's time to ask Chewy.
Jesus? Yeah, we can ask Jesus
Is he
once he
on?
gets on.
He's on now.
Can we hear him?
Just give me a second.
So Jesus, we've been talking about.
Jesus is
who
not
not
on.
on yet.
Can't hear you.
I see and hear Jesus, and I hear and see the crew in downtown Chicago.
Okay.
Is that hypothetically the stream?
I think it's working.
Yay, there's Jesus. What up, kid?
How are you guys?
How's
Doing the
Houston?
thing.
Houston's great. Houston is great.
It's probably warm, right?
No, it's 49 degrees, but it's going to hit 57 today.
Mm.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
It's the world's smallest violin playing.
Oh no, I wasn't complaining. I'm just that was just answering the question.
I see on Twitter it was only like 31 in Arizona today, and it's going to be 94 on the west coast of Florida. So you've got
Well, last
extreme
week-
heat on one side, and you've got unseasonably cold on the other.
Last week I got back and I told my wife by the last day I was there it was 40 and it felt hot. Remember how we went from
Yeah,
and we
it
started
was shorts
wearing
weather when it
light-
got to 40 last week after 12 below.
Hey, Adrian,
And
we got a comment for you. Jay Sharman wants to know what the picture in green on the wall behind you is.
The picture in green on the wall. It is one of my students' photos. I'll take you closer. Not photo, but it is a painting by one of my undergraduates who was talking about the course that we did on Latinos and cities. And so it is a painting of Celia Cruz and 3 Cuban flags, says Babalu, Azúcar. And it was an awesome job that she did. I was very impressed by her artistry. And yes,
And
I'm a
she definitely
historian.
got an A+.
Absolutely. I'm a historian, but I take all kinds of creativity. The one thing I told her, if you're going to make art, you have to sign it. And she did. On the back, though. I told her to sign it on the front.
What was her major?
She was a Latina studies major. So
Cool.
she's just a creative person.
Awesome. So should we open up the floor to Jesus and ask what he thinks?
Yeah, Jesus, we're talking about the World Series. We've all made predictions. We'll recap them for you if you didn't hear them. I had Yankees over Cubs.
I had Astros. I didn't pick a NL winner because I think the Astros are just going to win.
I chose the Red Sox.
Obviously, Tab, and I think Adrian picked the Cubs too. It's good to know that they don't believe in the PECOTA rankings from Baseball Reference.
Not at
which
all.
Have them winning only 79 games. I'm with Andy and Sierra. I think it's going to be an Astros Red Sox ALCS, and whoever wins that series wins the World Series. I don't foresee a National League team winning the World Series this year. I just don't see it.
How come?
The Red Sox are amazing. The Astros lineup is amazing. They're just too strong. I mean, you have Correa, healthy Correa, who's probably your 4th best player.
Jesus, we got some comments for you. Mike wants to know, San Diego was predicted to finish 6th from the bottom. How high do they jump with Manny Machado?
5th.
And then Jay Sharman wants to know if there's any word on which MLB players are most involved in the Venezuela situation.
They're all involved in the Venezuela situation in the fact that it affects all of them. We at La Vida Baseball have a contributor, Cesar Marquez, who's very tuned in. And I recently was talking to him last week in Chicago, and I've assigned a story to him, and he's talking to Venezuelan players Most of them are hesitant to speak on the record. So we pushed it back a week because I want guys to speak on the record. But I also understand, having covered Cuban ball players, how difficult it is to speak on the record while your family is still back. And back then in Cuba, now in Venezuela. So we're working on it. But every ball player, Miguel Tejada speaks a lot about it. Not Miguel Tejada, Miguel Cabrera, I'm sorry. And so every ball player from Venezuela is affected some way, somehow, because most of them have some immediate family, whether a brother or a mother, father, back there, and you know,
And
they all.
the reason why they're afraid to speak on record is because they don't want to put their family in any type of harm's way, correct?
Exactly, absolutely. You don't know the kind of like, their brethren in Cuba that, Maduro, he stomps out dissent.
Yeah, let me jump in to what the players are worried about is partly what's already happened to the family of Francisco Cervelli. His sister is a journalist, and she had to leave the country for fear that there would be reprisals, like Jesus was mentioning, that the government will, come after her. Cervelli had to move his parents out of the country. And the other players, you see a number of them, when they're able to bring their parents to stay long-term, or even try to make them come here for permanent residency. There is lots of concern. And as I talked recently with my students in my sport and society class, the rate of inflation, and this was one of the things we learned from Cesar Marquez and his reporting, the rate of inflation in Venezuela is, for 2018, was 1,000,000%. So even if you're making good money in MLB, your ability to provide for your family back in Venezuela has been seriously hit. And that's really, how do you get them food, milk, medicine, healthcare? So yeah, the players are going to be hesitant to be very forthright about how this is affecting their lives and the lives of those around them.
And it's interesting that you mentioned Francisco Cervelli, because he is the one player that we do have on the record. But when you're talking about an issue that affects so many, we're trying to find at least one other to speak on the record, so that we don't go with a story of one guy on the record and a bunch of unnamed sources. So, but we will have a story on our website at some point in March.
Awesome.
How big is social been for guys like Cervelli as they try and, because we've seen some players step up. Obviously, last year there was the Wilson Contreras issue with the Venezuelan flag on the arm sleeve. But how big has social media been for some of these guys as you talk to them in the field, Jesus and Adrian, at voicing either their support for specific people or family members back home?
Yeah, they've done that, but I don't think they're somewhat handcuffed, like we mentioned. They cannot speak freely. For instance, if they were Americans and they had issues with President Obama in the past or President Trump now, we're generally free to voice our tweet, like, I'm angry at President whoever. Well, in Venezuela, you have to watch out, because although you may be in Chicago and seemingly free, your family isn't. So you're not going to start ripping on Maduro, as freely on social media. And just for the record, if you want to check it out, go look at Alex Bregman's comments versus any of even the most outspoken of Venezuelans.
Right.
We're
so
just
we can
more
look
free
forward
there.
to that article in March, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I would love to get you guys back on when the article is on the website, so we can hash it out further, maybe get some other guests on to talk about the situation.
Yes, and hopefully get Cesar on there, because he's he feels it. You know, he has family still there.
Guys,
Absolutely.
really quick, it is Love Your Pet Day.
Oh,
Jesus, where's your dog at?
Dogs.
give me a few seconds. I'll see if they'll come in. Hold on.
So I can talk about my pets.
What kind
You
of
got,
pet?
you got pigs?
Pets. No puercos. Pets. Mascotas. We have 2 cats and a dog at home.
What kind of cats?
Right here.
They're black cats.
Can you see Dodger?
Oh, there it is.
Oh,
That's
nice.
Dodger.
Yeah. And this is Ace.
There's Ace.
Dodger and Ace.
Dodger, come here.
There we go.
Love it.
So,
You
did
got
you
your
bake them
double
a
plate
cake
combo
today,
there.
Jesus?
Say that again.
Did you bake them a cake for Love Your Pet
I
Day?
didn't, but I tell you, this one is named Ace because Roy Oswalt gave it to us. So we have
Really?
we went to Mississippi and picked them up. We've been wanting to give the girls a dog for many years, and his dog had puppies, and he says, "I want your girls to come get one." And this is the only reason my wife let us have another dog.
Nice.
Awesome.
You
And
know
what are
what-
your dogs' names, Adrian?
Our dog name is Bon, and our cats are named Bobby and Dash. But her full name is Rainbow Dash because my girls were really into My Little Ponies at the time when we got her.
Nice.
Oh, I love it. So, Adrian, we saw a video of you at the Hall of Fame. We played it before you came on. And you had your white gloves on. You were handling a ticket that was 99 years old at the time. Now it is 100 years old. How cool was that to do that story?
It was so cool. Going into the vault at the Hall of Fame, it is a rare treat, and you get to handle these artifacts that are just amazing. They had game tickets from actually each game of the 1919 World Series, and what we try to do is get the one in which Adolfo Luque pitched in. But you got to put on your gloves because, as Tab mentioned, these are 100-year-old pieces of paper. And the other thing that's amazing is look at how small that ticket was. When you compare that with the World Series ticket today, tiny.
How did you not lose them?
Yeah, that'd be a problem. But the other thing is, it wasn't that expensive in our mind. It was like, I forget how much it was. It was $1.50 for general admission or something. You ain't getting nowhere near a ballpark World Series time now for that much. You can't
I
even
don't
get in
think
the
you can
Uber.
watch the stream for $1.50.
You guys, you can see us, right?
Yes.
So we're having a fun debate this spring training. We want to know who did it better, Cactus League or Grapefruit League. So, Andy, what is our who did it better for today?
So our who did it better for today is what has the better weather. And you can probably say Arizona and Florida, if you're in a cold weather like we are in Chicago, you'll take either one. But Arizona hasn't been that warm right now.
No, it hasn't.
So we have a picture of Luis Urias from the San Diego Padres, who is in Arizona, suffering through 40-degree weathers, and obviously very cold. And then we got Eduardo Rodriguez of the Red Sox fishing in Florida, looking totally relaxed, enjoying the moment, enjoying the weather. So what weather is better right now for you guys, Arizona or Florida?
All the Padres saying that, they'd like him to bring the 89-degree weather from Florida.
Exactly.
Machado.
Yeah, I think one of the things that northern teams that are in Arizona might actually benefit from is playing baseball in 40 degrees, because 40 would be balmy shorts weather for opening day at Wrigley or Guaranteed Rate Field. So if you're a team that plays further north and you don't have a dome, maybe it's a benefit to play in some colder weather and get used to freezing, because it's hard to go from 90 degrees to 35. That's a shock to the system.
Exactly.
They'll take it. They'll take
What
it.
about you, Adrian? What's your preference? Who wins this
I'm a
one?
big-
Grapefruit League or Cactus League?
Grapefruit League. It's an easy call. It's an easier call than Manny trying to decide what team to go to.
Money talks, Adrian. Money talks. For me, I'm going to say Grapefruit League, even though it rains
I must
more.
kill you. That kills you, Sierra. Aren't you from Arizona?
I am from Arizona, but I really like Florida.
Yeah.
So since I moved to Chicago, I've had time to spend more time in Florida just because it's closer.
Sure.
So I understand why there's so many people from Chicago that head down to Florida to warm up, because for the only reason that it's not a long plane ride.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
parents were in Naples for the weekend and came home and told me how nice and warm it was last night. And I dropped them off quickly and went home and was bitter about that. Having spent 5 days in Naples and me being here.
Did they bring you some key lime pie at least?
No, they thanked me for driving them home and asked if I wanted McDonald's on the way. For being their limo driver to and from Midway Airport.
Awesome. So I think we all voted grapefruit.
I'll just to be a contrarian, as you said earlier, I'll go with the Cactus League.
You were just in Arizona too.
Yeah, I was. It was my first time. I loved it.
And he was cold.
It was like 30 degrees the day we left.
Can I borrow that tiny violin?
Yeah, right.
Because y'all were freezing at 49 degrees and it was 12 below in Chicago.
I was not prepared for 49-degree weather in Arizona. I was mentally set on 60, 70 degrees all 3 days, and it never got higher than 55.
So if we go on the La Vida Baseball website right now, what can we find that you've written lately, Adrian? And then I'll turn the question over to Jesus.
Well, tomorrow we're going to be having a new La Vida Voices where we talk with Nilson Pepin, and he's a broadcaster for Univision in Boston. Other than that, we have from Saturday, we have one of the El Profes talking about the photos that really move us, and it was Alex Cora holding that trophy aloft. It's for Puerto Ricans, I can't stress enough what a big moment that was, and you know, it was history in the making, and he accomplished it his first year with Boston, and they're, like we were talking about before, they're in a really good spot. And I agree with Jesus, it's going to be between the Astros and Boston. I just happen to think the Astros will be going to the World Series.
What about you, Jesus? What you got on there right now?
Well, I had the Jaime Jarrín piece that we talked
Yes.
about a little bit yesterday. So that's a very personal piece, and the first piece I wrote as a contributor for La Vida Baseball when I was a columnist at the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. So that was a very personal piece for me.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming on today. We appreciate it, and we look forward. I'm really looking forward to the piece on Venezuela that's going to come out in March.
I'm amped up for it now.
Yeah.
Like, once Jesus told us, I'm like, let's go. I want to read it right now.
Yeah, and we'll definitely have Cesar on to talk about it when we get there.
We could do an entire show about it because it's important.
It is.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Have a good day. Thanks so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Adios, mi gente.
Adios.
All right, guys. We're going to wrap up this show, but before we go, what do we have going on tomorrow? Because I always want to look ahead to the future, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone does, don't they? Like, that's what everyone wants to do.
Future, you know,
Well,
that
Sox fans
countdown?
aren't looking forward to the future as much as they
Well.
were 24 hours ago.
Well, they have money. They're going to spend it. They just don't know how they're going to spend it. But what do we got going on tomorrow? You're not going on vacation, right, Andy?
I was, but I figured I should stick on the show, so I canceled.
You
just to
canceled
stay
the
on with
vacation.
these here.
Dang it.
So we got funny social posts coming up. Well, there's so much funny stuff that we got. We got some good ones already in the
It's
hopper.
going to be hard to talk the Cueto
It
horse.
is.
But I need follow-up. I need closure on
Yes.
that to see
Henry's-
if that is the same horse.
I'll message Henry and make sure he's on the
Okay.
mission of finding if that was the same horse. We got some spring training pictures. It was media day for a lot of teams yesterday and the last few days. So there's a lot of photos of players in their new digs or with their new gear. And then we got some Clemente nuggets. Tomorrow's the 21st, so we've got some Roberto Clemente nuggets to share with you.
And what do we do on the 21st of every month?
On the 21st of every month on the website, we share the personal reflections of someone speaking about the impact and legacy of Roberto Clemente. It could be one of his teammates, which tomorrow, Manny Sanguillen, who was one of Clemente's best friends, one of his teammates with the Pirates, who actually missed a World Series parade to go to Puerto Rico and search the ocean looking for Clemente after the crash. We've got a story about him reflecting on his personal relationship with Clemente. So on the 21st of every month, watch for it because it might be a teammate. It could be a young player like Javi Baez or Francisco Lindor talking about Clemente's ongoing legacy on and off the field for Latinos, not necessarily just young Boricuas.
Awesome. Well, guys, that's a wrap for today's show. Thanks for watching La Vida Baseball Live. I'm excited about tomorrow.
I am too. Let's do it.
We gotta go. We gotta get. You know what? We got work to do. Let's go. Come on. Come on.
All right. Let's vomit.
Oh, that's not work, Tab. Cheese.
No, but I get a workout doing it.